How's it hanging, toy fans? This is Talking Toys, episode 15, where we'll be talking about SDCC, board games, and video games. I'm your host, Brock Lauer.
And Kyle Walters.
And today we'll be talking about a whole lot of stuff from SDCC, such as Marvel Legends, NECA, DC Direct, stuff from Mattel, Hasbro, Hot Toys, and we'll just be getting right into it with updates as well. A lot of news today. It'll be a little bit of an extra long episode with, we're talking about not only SDCC stuff, but we'll be talking about stuff that's out of stock, scalpers, pre-orders, distribution. A lot of you toy collectors are not finding certain things that should be out by now. Whether that's due to the pandemic, we don't know, but, we're going to explore and ask questions and see what's going on with updates right now. The Marvel Legends Sentinel figure, which was crowdfunded, got past 6,000, 8,000. It's the crowdfunding through HasLab, Hasbro Pulse. You can find it on. It's $349.99. It is exactly 26.34 inches tall. Has LED light up eyes and chest. Through different waves of how many people committed to buying the Sentinel figure for Marvel Legends, it will now come with a master mold head, a battle damaged head, and two tentacles that come out of its hands, wrist, and also comes with a Bastion figure. The tentacle will be bendable.
As of the recording of this episode, there are currently 12,059 backers, almost double of their target of 6,000 backers, and there are still 22 days, 4 hours, and 34 minutes to go, so go pick up a Sentinel if you want one.
Right, and just so you know, if you need to do the math on that, it is August 2nd of this recording, so you do have a couple days left, a little less than a month. So how about that, Kyle? What do you think about that?
It is fantastic. I think, I know you and I were talking about this before, I think it opens up the floodgates of possibilities. Galactus would be one. I'm curious. I wonder if they would do a MODOK this way too, because Toy Biz did a MODOK.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they would say, MODOK might be a little too big. Maybe we can give them more bang for their buck if we give them a MODOK. I'm having a brain fart. What would be some other really tall? Maybe a really tall Apocalypse would be cool.
Yeah.
Some people have suggested a really tall comic-y Giant Man.
Yes, that would be really cool.
I'm still trying to build the Walmart exclusive one from a few years back from Toy Biz.
Yeah.
But the sky's the limit. They did a Star Wars which sold like bonkers, and now that Star Wars one goes for buku bucks. They did a Transformers one which like
Chronicon and
the interesting thing with the Transformers one,
that one took a little while,
is it shows that like the Marvel fans and Star Wars fans, a lot of us are willing to shell out that kind of money.
Yeah.
Whereas the Transformers fans, even though there's a lot of Transformers fans, probably looked at that and were like, some of the Transformers figures are as little as $20. Why would I want to shell that money?
That's also a way bigger figure.
It was
Transformers. Yeah,
it was what it was like. How many inches?
I don't know, but it was like so. It would take up like a lot of space. But are you a buyer at it for the Sentinel?
Yes,
you are.
Yeah.
I think I am too. I mean, I wasn't at first. It's a different thing. I don't normally do these crowdfunding things, but I don't like the price at $349.99. That was kind of I thought it was more than it needed to be, but granted, it didn't seem to stop people. Luckily, I've been working a lot, so I'm still definitely get one now.
It's definitely Hot Toys pricing. The crazy thing to me, which is why I always say that like nerds are the richest people in the world, is some of our fellow nerds are buying 3 and 4, so they're spending upwards of like a couple car payments to get a Sentinel army. I did at one point have the Toy Biz one, and I sold it, ironically enough, to my one of my former bosses at one of my previous jobs.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was cool, but this one just
is way worth the price.
Yeah, it's more cartoon-esque with the purples and stuff. That one the Toy Biz one was a little more grittier, but I just like this one better. Plus, you know me, I love LEDs. So the LED eyes is phenomenal.
I mean, what they have now is a prototype, but Hasbro Marvel Legends has now taken it to the next level on not only just big figures, but LED lights. Obviously, you could use the sculpt for like Galactus, maybe do something like with Giant Man. the sky's the limit. And other reveals were Marvel Legends Toxin figure. That one was pretty cool. Don't know much about the character, so I'm out on that one. But definitely an improvement from the last Toxin figure. What'd you think about that one?
Yeah. It pretty much, to me, it was just like, well, we got this Venom sculpt.
Right.
Paint it red.
Right. Other reveals before Comic-Con were Mezco, Nosferatu. Comes with a coffin, rats, a couple heads, couple hands, keys, lantern, and also there was also a Superman Christopher Reeves released from Mezco as well. And what do you think about those two figures?
The Christopher Reeves one surprisingly did not sell out as quickly as some of their figures do.
Yeah.
The Nosferatu, those sold out quickly. And it looks cool. I had to Google it because I've heard that name before. I guess Nosferatu is based off of a silent film from like the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, it's a very old film. One of like the first ghoul probably in film.
They said it like inspired so many horror directors and stuff.
Yeah, it definitely is a interesting character, different take, very high quality figure, really cool looking.
I have a few Mezco exclusive figures, but for the most part, I hate how they do their exclusives. A lot of their exclusives now, they've been severely limiting it more, but at one point they would limit you to like 6 or 8 exclusives. Mm-hmm. And if it, let's say it was going to be a popular character like the Tiger Stripe Wolverine at one point,
yeah,
people would just buy a ton, keep one for themselves, and then they would literally, like, if they spent $80 on a figure, that Tiger Stripe Wolverine now goes for $250.
Yeah.
So they would just sell them all for $250, and they would just reap all the profits, and then a lot of people would be screwed out. And now, granted, I understand that if the opportunity presents itself, some people are just going to make money, but Mezco, I think now limiting a lot of their figures to like 2, I think is a lot better.
Yeah.
But their website is just not perfect. And then some people have been upset too, because like when you're put on the wait list, some people were charged a $34 non-refundable deposit just for them to like cancel their order. Mm-hmm. And then I guess Mezco got a lot of backlash, so they were like, oh no, we'll refund it to you. And it's like, oh, okay, now you're trying to save face.
Right. And also for you G.I. Joe, Hasbro, G.I. Joe fans, Classified series, if you probably are looking for these right now in stores, who knows if the stores are helping you out or if you're actually finding them or if they are actually put out. Director Destro, Red Ninja, Gung Ho, Commander Cobra, Arctic Mission Storm Shadow, all from the Hasbro G.I. Joe 6-inch line. And also Mattel released a Dennis Nerdy figure. It's like in a Barbasol container. He talks and he says like, oh, you didn't say the magic word from Jurassic Park. It's a 3/4-inch figure. As well as Hot Toys released some also pre-Comic-Con releases such as Whiplash, Holographic Iron Man, Spider-Man 2099, Thor Ragnarok Stan Lee when he like gives Thor the haircut. So he has like all those like mechanical hands where he uses to cut his hair. And so so a couple of those pre-Comic-Con releases. Any of from Mattel or Hasbro or Hot Toys before Comic-Con releases interest you, or what'd you think?
I'll have to keep a lookout for it.
And rolling into SDCC reveals, we first got the 6-inch scale Hoth Wampa figure from Star Wars Black Series. I think it's just the figure, so that's the new Wampa figure. It'll come in like a retro Empire Strikes Back box. And it'll also have a Bloody Mouth deco featured on it.
The Wampa figure, I'm so happy they're finally re-releasing it.
And it'll be $30.
Are you interested in that one?
If I could find it, maybe. It depends. I mean, maybe. I mean, it was in that movie for 2 seconds, so I'm kind of like weird on that kind of stuff where it comes like, oh, it's in the movie for 2 seconds. It's like, well, do I really need an action figure for something that was just in the movie for 2 seconds?
Yeah, there's some people I watch some of their Star Wars reviews, and if you like Star Wars, there's some people who really like it, and they'll be like, oh, I had to get Bosk. And then I'm like, Boss showed up on like one scene in The Empire Strikes Back.
Like he just stood there, and you need an action figure because why? He's so cool of a character. Or you like Gator people, I mean, it's weird like that, where people just like, I gotta get that figure.
Whereas like the one figure you and I have been begging Hasbro to make forever since they started the series was Episode 1 C-3PO. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
With the wires showing.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Right.
And it would sell. It would sell well because they can use literally they can literally take the same, I don't care if they improve upon the mold at all because the mold's pretty decent. Yeah. But they can take the same C-3PO mold and just like, maneuver the plastic just to make it, with just nothing but wires and sell a bunch, and then give us some of the pod racer guys.
Oh yeah. Also, Black Series released new Heroes of Endor pack with Han, Luke, and Leia in their Endor attire. They're on the planet Endor, along with an Ewok and a speeder. It'll be released in September. It'll be $109, and so that's coming out of the new releases of Battle of Endor set. Pretty cool. What'd you think of those, real quick?
Oh, I loved those, but I unfortunately, being a nerd, sometimes you gotta put a cap on what you get and what you don't. I love Star Wars, but I'm very specific character wise what I want. Like there's a few more main characters I want. For the most part, the thing that I love about Star Wars figures in general is the bigger characters. I can't lie though. I am interested in possibly getting the snow speeder though.
You mean the Endor speeder?
No, the snow speeder from Hoth that they released already.
Oh, okay, I got it. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I see what you're gonna get one, huh?
I'm considering because I can't think of the name. The land speeder.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I would love to find the snow. I found the land speeder for like 60% off at Walmart once. So if I could find the snow speeder for that same price,
Yeah,
that'd be good.
some new SDC releases for the Hasbro G.I. Joe 6-inch line are Roadblock, comes with a gun, Wayne Beachhead Sneeden, comes with a crossbow and like different guns and a backpack, and also the G.I. Joe Riders line with Baroness with Cobra Coil. So she'll come with red motorcycle, multiple guns, Cobra accessory, 2 guns, a motorcycle. It's a red motorcycle, and obviously the figure.
Being children of the '90s, we don't necessarily, we'll be right up front with you guys. We don't know really anything about GI Joe, except for what we saw in the Toys That Made Us. That was great.
Yeah, I mean it's a powerful toy line. They have awesome sets and stuff like that.
And back in the day, that USS Flag from the '80s, that thing, seeing that in person.
I think that well, I mean, aside from like what they released today, but that held the record for biggest playset for a long time. And also they released from Hot Toys a Marvel Mysterio Iron Man illusion figure where Iron Man looks like a zombie from Far From Home. So that'll be a Hot Toys figure.
Is it a statue or is it like a legit figure?
It's a legit figure. Here, I have a picture of it, and it looks like that.
Oh, I didn't know it was a legit figure. Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was just a statue. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was very left field for Hot Toys. Just very odd thing to make. Just like something very brief.
Yeah, digging deep. That's cool though. That'll probably sell for people who like zombies and stuff.
Yeah, zombie Iron Man, stuff like that.
Because Funko's coming out the line of the zombie pops and stuff that look pretty cool too. So.
Right, and people like that kind of different.
Yeah, something outside the box.
That's just not the same and stuff like that. Other releases from Hot Toys were a Tony Stark from Iron Man 1, where he's doing like the test version of Iron Man, doing like the armor and the propels and stuff like this. So he comes like with different hands and stuff like that. The Cable figure from Deadpool 2. It comes with a shield, multiple guns and hands.
That thing looks incredible.
That looks crazy. You could even like take his shirt off and like all those different cybernetics and stuff like that.
It's creepy how much that looks like Josh Brolin.
Yeah, it is nuts. Hot Toys has been able to do the past couple years.
Like I don't know, they probably designed their own program for their face sculpting technology because it's like literally like they made a silicone mask of like Josh Brolin's head and just pow right in the figure.
Yeah, it's probably beyond 3D face sculpting. It's probably like 360 3D face sculpting, head sculpting, hair sculpting.
I envy Sideshow because Sideshow being the U.S. distributor and Hot Toys being based out of Hong Kong, Sideshow probably gets to like tour the factory in Hong Kong and see a lot of the cool stuff.
I would like to see how our toys are made, like Hasbro stuff, from design to finished product. How it's packaged, how it's made, how it's designed, how it's painted. Just I'd love to see like a show where it shows like, oh, how are Marvel Legends made, or G.I. Joes, or how are Hot Toys made. That would be a show. I'd love to see
it. It would be really cool because like
just all these different brands. Like, I mean, they've done Lego. I've seen like a couple Lego set ones.
I remember 2 semesters ago for one of my economics classes, I wrote an article about Bandai Tamashii Nations at their Gundam headquarters. They invested like $5.5 billion in like new like blow molding technology for their models and stuff. And they put a new floor in their headquarters in Japan, and they expected to make the $5.5 billion back in a year.
Wow.
Which is how like, because you know me, I love the Gundam models. I find them really relaxing. And then I remember I asked a local comic shop owner around here, and he said during the pandemic, he said those were like all sold out everywhere.
Really?
Because, you know, people being stuck home throughout the world, the first thing you're going to want to do is be like, how can I kill time? Oh, I'll build a bunch of models.
Right. I mean, a lot of Lego sets are sold out in the toy aisles right now because they want to keep their kids occupied or do a project or spend some quality time with their kid and talk to them. You know, it's like very good. With the pandemic, it's a really good bonding moment, not only just to build models, but like to build Legos or.
And the models they're relaxing too. Like they really like I'll put on like some smooth jazz or some country,
Right.
and it'll just like if you're really stressed, like I love to lift, and then building a model is it like I'm happy Hobby Lobby has a whole model section too. And they finally put Gundam models in there.
Yeah, I mean it's nice for me like to just like I recently got the Iron Man helmet set where you just build the helmet and it's pretty cool and it's just nice to like put on some music and just build your Lego set.
What kind of difficulty rating for our listeners would you put on that? Like, would you recommend for kids, teenagers, everyone?
If your listeners can't see it, but it's the Marvel Studios Iron Man helmet. I mean, it's an adult thing because it looks like an adult collectible kind of thing because it's not necessarily a toy or a set you could play. It's not something you could play with. But I mean, it's for adults. Difficulty level, it's not. They're not difficult. I mean, Legos aren't really difficult if you're an adult. Just follow directions and make sure you're doing it correctly. I mean, there were some parts where like I was doing the jaw, and it was a little bit like hard, so I had to like redo it, and it's like, oh, okay, that's how it works. I mean, you do have to pay attention and stuff like that. So, other reveals from Hot Toys was Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars. He has a little bit of armor and a droid speeder. Comes with like holographic versions of Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. And also the Wonder Woman 84 Hot Toys figure, which looks like one heck of a Hot Toys Wonder Woman figure. Comes with like bullet blast effects, her lasso, her classic look, stand, just really awesome sculpt.
That looks really good. No cheetah. Like they're really keeping that under wraps. All the toy companies are doing Gal Gadot figures, but they're not showing us what that cheetah was, which I guess I understand because when they did the first Wonder Woman figure, they never showed us who Ares was, which spoiler alert, it wasn't who you thought it was. I remember that whole movie. I thought it was going to be that one general.
Right.
And I didn't think about how, because I thought, well, maybe it'll be the older guy, and it turns out it was the older guy because it was like he was playing chess while everyone was playing checkers, and that's how he was able to start the World War II. I thought, I know it's been 5 years, so hopefully I'm not spoiling it for anyone, but if you haven't seen Wonder Woman, I think Wonder Woman was how DC was able to get on a good path. Because I think Shazam was great. I think Aquaman, even with its cheesy puns, I think the cheesy puns were woven into the cloth of the movie so well that it was it was enjoyable. Where it was like it wasn't like I don't know, the past couple movies, I just think that they've done a really good job. Hopefully Robert Pattinson's Batman will be just as enjoyable.
Yeah. And coming from Marvel Legends, their Marvel Legends Hasbro Pulse SDCC exclusive was the Logan 2-pack with from the movie Logan, Professor X and Wolverine. Comes with extra sets of hands and claws, and also has like extra head on for Logan. Also from Legends was Storm and Thunderbird 2-pack from there's the Jim Lee style Storm, and also a 3-pack that included Psylocke, Nimrod, and Phantom X. That would be a 3-pack, and also a 2-pack of Deadpool and Negasonic Teenage Warhead with multiple guns and hands and blast effects, and also the Hellfire Club, which includes has Emma Frost, who plays the White Witch, I think that's what she's called, and then there's the Black Witch, which is Rogue, And then there's Sebastian Shaw, and I'm trying to remember the other guy. Well, they also come with like a whip, extra hands, a book, guns, a metal hand. It's the Hellfire 4-pack.
Is that going to be an exclusive set? I thought that was going to be an exclusive
set.
Yeah,
it should be a SDC exclusive pack for all you Hasbro fans. I can't remember the last guy. I'm sorry. But that's what's coming out of Marvel Legends Hasbro. What'd you think of those reveals from Marvel Legends Hasbro?
Deadpool Negasonic Teenage Warhead I thought looked really cool. According to our good friends over at Wikipedia, there's a lot of different people who have been members. So I will really quick read them off. See if any of these names jog
my memory. Yeah.
Sebastian Shaw,
Yeah,
Emma Frost, Harry Leland, Jason Wingardie.
That might be it.
Donald Pierce, Tessa Celine, Magneto Storm, Shinobi Shaw, Trevor Fitzroy, Madeline Pryor, Sat-YR-9, Phoenix, Sunspot, Ironmonger, and Azazel. Some of those people I've never heard of.
Yeah, it's only one episode. I saw the episode. I just can't remember the name.
Why is Ironmonger? Why was he? It's weird. I feel like sometimes comic book creators can't think of things, so they're like, screw it, we'll just throw them in with an existing team. And it was created by someone who we were supposed to meet, and we are very excited to meet in the future, Chris Claremont, and then it was also created by John. They were created by John Byrne.
Yeah.
So someday we'll meet him.
Yeah, and the Old Man Logan and Hawkeye, the blind old Hawkeye, will be a 2-pack with the green baby Hulk, and it'll come with Hawkeye with his bow, and Logan with his hat, and all those other accessories as well. That'll now be a 2-pack. Not necessarily new news from Marvel Legends, but just kind of like showing you what's going to be a 2-pack. Pretty much all 2 or 3 packs at this point. That's pretty much the reveal they showed.
I am bummed that the Hawkeye is part of a 2-pack because I already have a beautiful Mezco Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
So I just wanted the Hawkeye. But, I guess you can... Having one extra Old Man Logan, I don't think it'll be too bad. I love the Mezco one.
Yeah, definitely interesting. And, just really rolling on that X-Men line. Really doing good things. Keeping it rolling. I just wish I saw new stuff that's kind of like old stuff that's now just
lots of variety too. Lots of different things. Everyone should go out and support Hasbro especially with the movie figures, so we can get some Sam Raimi Spider-Man figures. That'd be wonderful.
And the Mystique will be a single pack. The movie Logan will be a single pack. And the movie Charles Xavier and Magneto will be also a 2-pack from the movies.
That's gonna be a really good pack. I'm excited about that.
That would be good.
What from Hasbro's Marvel showing are you interested in, my friend?
Definitely pretty much everything Deadpool, anything X-Men movie line, the Storm 2-pack, and I'm not interested in the Hellfire thing. That's just kind of a little bit too exclusive for me.
It would be one of those things that would be cool to keep in the box, but I do agree. You and I really don't know too much about the Hellfire Club, but
right.
The character Emma Frost, though, I like Emma Frost, but we already both have that really cool exclusive Emma Frost from Walgreens.
I thought the Logan 2-pack was pretty cool, just for it being different. I just wish they had the...
Yeah, with him and him and Charles Xavier in the wheelchair.
Yeah, well, I just wish they had a X-23 or that girl.
Yes.
That should have been a 3-pack, but what
that would have sold like bonkers too. Well, I guess theoretically they could release her, or maybe because the actress is a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they weren't able to get her likeness because I remember for the longest time Hasbro wanted to have what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, they wanted to have a Build-A-Figure Stan Lee.
Yeah.
But there was a problem getting the rights to his license, so it took them forever, and then they finally got the rights to his license, which is weird because Hasbro had an exclusive Stan Lee in 2010 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how could you have a Stan Lee then, but you can't have a Stan Lee 6 years later?
And also, McFarlane Toys released some new figures from their 7-inch DC line, such as the Flashpoint Thomas Wayne Batman figure, the Curse of the White Knight Batman, classic Joker figure from the DC Rebirth line, Azrael Batman in armor, the Flash, and animated-looking Teen Titans Cyborg. Those are some new figures, as well as, what else did they release? A Flash figure, a Nightwing with the red insignia on his chest, Earth 52 Evil Bat Flash, and a Red Hood figure. Those are some new ones there. The two Flash, Evil Flash, and regular Flash will be a 2-pack, as well as the Nightwing and Red Hood, as well as this new release of Batman, Arkham Knight, and Deathstroke figure, both from the video game Arkham Knight, so that'll be a 2-pack, Batman from the Arkham Knight and Deathstroke from Arkham Knight video game. Continuing with McFarlane Toys, you'll get to collect Dark Knight's metal figures, such as Infected Superman, Batman from Dark Knight's metal, the Batman Who Laughs with the Sky Tyrant wings to assemble, the Merciless, which will be the Build-A-Figure from Dark Knight's metals, and he'll also come with there'll be like 3 different versions of the Robins in chains with the Batman Who Laughs. So the Robins that are like his pets, or the demented Robins, are pretty much sold separately, so you have to get each figure there. You'll have to get Batman Who Laughs, Infected Superman, regular Batman, and then also that Build-A-Figure, I think, is that Superman in the armor.
I didn't know they had a Flashpoint. Do you have a picture of the Flashpoint Batman? My internet's going a little slow.
The Flashpoint Batman? Yeah, I do.
The Robins looked solid.
Yeah.
I was actually impressed with those.
But I think that one, the Build-A-Figure for those ones I just rattled off, the Batman Who Laughs, Infected Superman, and Batman. Build-A-Figure is a Superman metal, evil version of Superman in metal with the armor.
Thank you, McFarlane. I finally want to buy one of your figures.
Yeah, the Batman Who Laughs and those Robins look really cool. They look tempting to me. I'm not gonna trash on the quality. It looks great. I mean, it's just like, as you've heard me say on the show before, it's the scale that I have a problem with. I mean, they're great figures.
The Flashpoint Batman could actually work really well on my scale, even at a 7-inch scale, because Thomas Wayne is taller.
Yeah, and they're all from Dark Knight's Metal, obviously really hot now, and that's a hot comic series also with Dark Knight Metal 2 coming out, or it's already out right now. Highly successful comic book. What did you think of those McFarlane toys? The Joker, the Flash, the 2-pack maybe from Arkham Knight, the Nightwing, the Red Hood. Any of those? Anything interest you? Any figures? Which ones? Well, there's a lot of them. So which ones just interest you, or you thought about?
He definitely seemed like he was sacking it up. He finally gave, like, I've been wanting a Thomas Wayne Batman for a while.
Mm-hmm.
From someone, and before it was just Medicom made a tall one, and then DC Direct made one years ago. So to get a new one that's not from scalper prices, from like DC Direct people, from like people who bought the DC Direct one years ago,
mm-hmm.
I actually think it looks really good. I'm impressed just from that picture right there. The Robins I saw days ago, the Robins look good.
Yeah,
he did a good job, and he decided to not make them, a stupid 7-inch scale. He made them tiny, which is what the Robins are. They're tiny.
Right.
So if you can have the Robins attached, if you can hold chains with the Batman Who Laughs, definitely, like you said, definitely got me thinking about it.
Yeah, the Batman Who Laughs with the Robins really got me thinking like, well, that would be cool to have just by itself. Not that I want all of them, but it's very like the figures look great, paint wise, sculpt wise, everything looks great. Here's my problem with them, is the sculpt. Well, the scale is too tall, but like, will the sculpt look as good in these pictures as when I see them in the store?
Right.
Like, everything looks great online when you first see it, plus in a showcase where they show you the best versions, but after, you start pumping these things out, are they going to have discrepancies? Are they just going to look like garbage?
Right.
I mean,
some of the ones, I think, obviously Todd McFarlane's a legend, but sometimes I felt like with his first couple figures that he has too many yes men around him and he's kind of stubborn with the 7-inch scale. But some of his figures looked solid. Like the Batman Who Laughs, I saw that in person. That looked solid. The Batgirl looked solid.
Yeah.
But then like the animated Superman looked like crap. The animated Jon Stewart, if that looked good, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. Looked like crap.
Yeah.
Because like it's some of the sculpts are just
the Wonder Woman looked too tall.
Yeah, like
you
they're just some of the sculpts, especially the animated ones, are very weirdly proportioned.
I don't. The thing is, like, I don't doubt the sculpts. It's not so much as that. It's just like, will these look good as these pictures? And another thing I have a problem with is that he constantly does Batman. Like, oh well, yeah, everyone likes this Dark Knight's Metal line. Those who have read the story. So is it really? I mean, it's very exclusive. You're really putting yourself out there now. You put yourself on a limb. One, you're only making Batman figures, but now you're only making Batman figures of people who've read this story. Not everyone's read Dark Knight's Metal. I haven't yet. I bought the graphic novel. I have to read it, but like, will it be enough? I mean, it's very risky for him just to do one story, like a whole wave of one story. Only maybe a select few have done or not. Like because no one really knows. I mean, not everybody knows everything about Dark Knight's Metal and whether everyone's read it. If you haven't read it, you're not going to buy the figures. If you've read it, you really like it, you're going to buy the figures. You're really painting yourself in a corner. 1, have you read Dark Knight's Metal? 2, did you like Dark Knight's Metal? 3, have you read, liked, and do you collect action figures? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's where I come to, like, it's now gotten even harder for him now to sell this product because, one, not everyone's number one Batman fan. So some people that just like the Flash or Shazam or something like that. So that's my concern. Would you agree with that?
I'd agree with that. I love Batman, but I definitely like variety. Like you have the whole DC universe to choose from, and even though I love Batman, give me some variety. Give me some more characters that are underutilized. Give me, Metallo, Lex Luthor in a suit, Mad Hatter,
Aquaman figures, villains,
just
Wonder Woman figures.
Give me more variety that not everyone would think of doing, like
the Flash villains.
Mattel when they went out with their last hurrah when they did that Ultimate Alfred figure.
Yeah,
amazing, great idea. Think outside the box like that.
Yeah, so we'll see see how people react to the McFarlane line. So far, it's been kind of subpar, I think, for most collectors because I've been seeing them a lot just as peg warmers out in the toy aisle. Going now to Mezco, they released a Bishop figure, Constantine figure. I think that was all they released. It was recently. That was pretty much it. Constantine, Bishop. You remember any other Mezco releases?
Constantine looked good. Bishop, meh. Like Bishop as character's cool. I just can't see paying $80 for Bishop.
Yeah.
They also did lots of those. They announced more of the Scooby-Doo villains, but in Living Dead doll form.
Yeah. Yeah, Mezco's doing good stuff, but I just, I think they held a lot back. I think there was a lot more they were going to release, but there wasn't a whole lot that they released for SDCC due to the whole pandemic. It was all online virtual releases. Also coming out of Hasbro is the SDC exclusive Hasbro Ghostbusters 2-pack. Tully's Terrible Night comes with a Tully figure and that Guardian from Ghostbusters that's looks like a dog. I don't know the exact name.
I think the Hellhound, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Hellhound. So it's a 2-pack with Tully and the Hellhound, and you'll get that. It's a 6-inch figure scale as well. And Power Rangers Lightning Collection SDC exclusive Lord Dracon or Evolution 3 figure. He comes with lightning effects and different. Comes with a cool box, lightning effects, and the Power Rangers helmets. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw the packaging for that looked actually really nice.
Yeah. And you could display it without opening it because he's posed in the packaging.
They're doing an amazing job with those figures for the most part.
The Power Rangers, yeah.
Ironically enough, I only bought one of them. I wasn't the biggest Power Rangers fan, but I was like, I'm curious. I'll buy the Pink Ranger.
Yeah.
And I will admit Hasbro disappointed me on that because I only wanted the Pink Ranger to hold the bow and arrow, and the pink lightning effect thing, she can't hold it at all. Yeah. She can hold the normal arrow.
Right.
But she can't hold the effect arrow, and that sucks. So I even checked out Pixel Dan's YouTube channel, and he was talking about how much of a pain in the butt it was too.
I think when it comes to Power Rangers, they're doing a very good job with putting in a wave different eras of different colored Rangers. It's just kind of like how Marvel Legends does it with different versions of different characters from different lines. You have Iron Man Cap, and then you have like a Hulk villain or a different Iron Man villain or something like that across waves. They're doing very good work. Hasbro's Power Rangers line. And also, first look at the Pirates of the Caribbean Jack Sparrow figure from Diamond Select. New image came out for that. I don't know if he comes with any accessories, but he looks very well sculpted and painted, very realistic. Diamond Select kind of reaching a new bar with quality. It looks very similar to like the Lord of the Rings quality. I think they've updated something. I don't know if it's the paint or the sculpt. They've really, I think, updated their sculpting and their paint for Diamond Select figures, as well as a Diamond Select Hulk, Rampage Hulk figure with an interchangeable head that looks like he has something on his face. I don't know if that's a cyborg head or if that's a
it kind of looked like a zombie type thing,
like a mind control thing. That was the alternate head. Really cool green, really awesome purple pants. Really cool comic version of the Rampage Hulk. They make a lot of Hulk figures. Diamond Select,
they do. I mean,
Gladiator Hulk, and then the one from the movie.
Their license is like super weird. I remember they've talked about it before, where they said like they have to make the figures a certain, they have to make the figures taller, and they can only have certain amount of articulation.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I think it's because Hasbro probably has the best license from it. It's just like how NECA's turtle license is weird, because Playmates Toys has the OG turtle license.
Right.
I love Diamond Select though. Like every now and then they just have one of those figures where you're just like,
you need one.
Yeah.
Well, like that's for me with the Carnage figure. I don't normally collect Diamond Select. I'm like, I want the Carnage, and it's like, oh, now they're making Lord of the Rings figures. Like, well, those are gonna look really cool quality wise.
Well, that's how I felt about the Watcher. And then I remember I showed one guy at a comic shop, and he was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you had that because it's super rare." But they did have one figure though, which it's just terrible prices everywhere you go because it's so valuable now.
No, there's no Marvel Legends version Watcher.
Yeah,
for Diamond Select, and that's kind of weird,
And I got it for $20, but I really want Mephismo. But Mephismo is going for too much damn money right now. I can't afford it.
And some exclusives that came and went. Predator 2 translucent. He has like blue blood on him from NECA. A glow in the dark alien figure. Whether that's the queen, I'm not sure. If it's the alien, I think it's a queen glow in the dark alien figure, which looks awesome. It's like a translucent green or whatever. And also a gremlin with a torch and some scuba diving equipment. And wrapping up some reveals here. More from NECA, such as they have a new animated Muckman figure, new Joe Eyeball in the Trash Can figure from TMNT 6-inch animated line coming out. These are all new figures. Mondo Gecko, which looked pretty cool. He has a skateboard and a ray gun. Who else do they have here? Rat King comes with rats, utility belt, and a flute, as well as Vernon with the alternate head. He turns into like a wolf, and also alternate hands and arms because those are also different. And he comes with a camera. So those came out. Kyle, what did you think of like the TMNT animated reveals? We'll segue into a different topic with this, but since
they all look amazing, but TMNT is one of those things I'm so happy I don't collect. I actually saw a Bebop and Rocksteady 2-pack, and I know like those 2-packs, some of those are like so hard to find.
Yeah, and we're gonna segue into this topic, wrap up SDCC reveals. NECA did a great job with their TMNT reveals. Doing always a great job quality-wise with their figures, their paint. Becoming a way bigger company than they were a year or even 2 years ago. So that segues into our next topic, where a lot of people are just having a lot of issues lately if you're a toy collector, trying to find these NECA figures, these TMNT NECA 2-packs. People are getting frustrated. They can't find them. They're asking Target employees. Target employees come back to them like, we can't release them, and no one can find them. I've seen people go into stores. They're going like to several Targets. They can't find them. And people are asking questions. Is this a scalper issue? Or are people just buying them up to resell them for like double, triple the price? They're like, over $100. And that's not just with the TMNT NECA figures. A lot of stuff hasn't been released. This may be due to the pandemic, but people are asking questions. Star Wars Black Series figures latest wave still hasn't been released. People are having a hard time finding the animated Spider-Man 6-inch Marvel Legends or the 6-inch Target exclusive Stan Lee, the G.I. Joe Hasbro 6-inch figures. Everybody is mobbing the stores lately trying to find these figures. It's getting to, you might say, like a cabin fever breaking point with collectors where no one can find anything. And I ask you, Kyle, is it the store's fault? Is it because it's a delay because of the pandemic? Do people not care? Or is it the distributors such as Hasbro or NECA not putting in enough figures per store? Is it scalpers? Is it people just buying up entire waves just in one trip?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think Target doesn't get enough, or Walmart or wherever doesn't get enough. I think some people probably who work at Target or Walmart don't get paid enough to give a shit.
Yeah.
I think the COVID-19 pandemic has messed bunch of stuff up.
Yeah.
And so things are delayed, and I think people just, when they see what they perceive to be as gold, they scoop it up and they just wait on it. And then I also think some companies probably have shit distribution. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just a lot of people have extra time. A lot of people have very little patience. A lot of people have a lot of extra money because they're doing less things. There's a lot more things postponed and canceled. Me and you, we're going to go to Cincinnati Comic-Con. That has just recently been canceled. A lot of people have a lot of extra money, but they also have a lot of extra time. And they're getting extra frustrated not finding what they want. I've really never seen it like this, even in regular times. I know this is irregular times, but I never seen like so many people try to find figures at once, whether they be G.I. Joe, the TMNT NECAs, whether it be Marvel Legends or just whatever, exclusives or Star Wars Hasbro. It's gotten to the point where like here's a release date, and then people like go to find it, and then they're like people are really irritated by this. Like I've heard people gone to several Targets or several Walmarts, still can't find them. They weren't put out. They're on pallets in the back, and they're like cannot release until August 24th. And people are also frustrated because they can't order them online. They can't order off on Target.com, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, or it's upcharged, or like, oh, it's available. Click add to cart. There's an error with your order. I mean, it is weird. I agree, and I think it is a little bit of everything, both. I mean, I think people need to take a breath and a step back. These are only toys. We're in a pandemic. Be nice to the people who are working. Take a breather, because honestly, with everything going on right now, action figures are the least of everyone's problems.
Right.
I get it. You want to find what you want. It's frustrating for me as a collector going to 2 Targets, 2 Walmarts, wasting gas. It's not there. It's a gamble. When you hunt for toys, it's a gamble. You're going to lose probably more times than you are going to win. Stand corrected, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
You're going to come up with more losses than you are wins,
There's been times where you and I have gone to like 10 stores and maybe we get a die-cast Batwing.
Right.
Hot Wheel. We spend all that gas and we end up with like a $4 Hot Wheel, and it's like, well, that's something that's still successful.
I think toy groups are helpful. Friends, if you have a group of friends that collect something and it's like, oh, I found something for you, and it's like, oh, thanks. You hold it for me, I'll pay you back. We do that. You and me do that occasionally when we can. I think that's helpful. Have connection, have toy groups, have friends look in their area. You live in Medina. You cover the Medina store. I live a little south of Cleveland. I cover southern end of Cleveland, sometimes Akron. But, it's difficult. I think there's a lot of things going on. Scalpers are out there. I think companies are aware of that. I think companies are also limiting, how many you could buy at a store. You can't just buy the whole lot. I think that's kind of good, too. Gives people a chance. Also, like, they're limiting how much you can buy online, too. Quantity, too. That's it. So, like, as you said, Kyle, yeah, it's multiple things. I think toys are not everyone's prime concern right now. I think it's just kind of, you got to stay safe, stay apart. It's different collecting. I mean, I went out toy hunting and I had to stand in line at Walmart for a couple minutes before I could get in the store, only to find out they had nothing that I wanted. It's very different times. You have to wear masks, you have to stand in line, you have to keep 6 feet apart. Some aisles are one way, other aisles are you can't go down this one-way aisles. I understand like you want to find something new, but this is also a time where you can look at the collection you've accumulated over the years and appreciate what you have found in the past, and just take a look and spend time with your collection of what you found, what you have. Take inventory, take stock. Maybe consider making like a keep pile and a sell pile. Clean your collection, take inventory, maybe get like an estimated value, maybe like something like, for taxes or something like that. I mean, what would you say about that?
I agree. I know sometimes one of the fun things about being a collector is just going through some things and being like, oh wow, I don't really care about some of these Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars figures.
That's
I'd like to make room for some other figures, or like right now, just sometimes you focus on just one of the main areas. Like right now, I'm focusing on my import Dragon Ball Z characters a lot because they're coming out with so many good ones.
Yeah.
And then it just depends on what you're in the mood for. Like I got a really cool Ride of the Wildfire Ronin Warriors figure. I got a Mezco John Wick, which I love. It just depends on what you're really in the mood for.
I think it's a good time to go to those small business stores where they really rely on your business. That's what I've been doing because all my con schedules have been canceled. Go to your local comic shop. I went to Bill's Books in Canton. Awesome shop, toys and comic books. If you live in the Ohio area, worth the trip. He has a toy room. He has comic books, graphic novels, statues. Go to that shop. Spend a little more than you normally would. You have extra time and extra money because a lot of things are canceled. You're like you'd probably be spending like near around that much at a con anyway. Help these people out. Go to your local comic shop. Go to your local toy shop. Help them out. Help them see their way through this pandemic. I went to Kid Force Collectibles. That's a good way to like help people. That's a good toy shop in the area. Carol and John's comic shop. No small business is immortal. They're not a corporation. They don't get bailouts from the government.
Or subsidies or any of that.
Right. They don't do it to get rich. They do it because they like the community.
They're passionate.
And they're passionate about what their business model is and want to see customers happy. It's a small town thing. You would probably agree to that, right?
I agree. I always prefer to help out a small business. Plus, I know Ohio has it coming up, but whatever state you're in, always look for like there's small business Saturdays, or there's times where with back to school coming up, there's going to be sales tax free holidays coming up soon.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the pandemic and SDCC. So now we're going to move on to our topic, board games and video games. We'll start off with board games. Do you remember any board games from when you were a kid? You played with your family, obviously, maybe some friends. Did you have any top favorite board games you liked?
Candyland.
Yeah, I got that one on my list.
Monopoly, Hi-Ho Cherry-O, Chutes and Ladders, Uno. Not technically a board game, but
no, that's still a game. Battleship I liked. I always like Battleship. I had a Bop It, fling it, spin it,
Twist it.
Yeah. Operation was fun. Zzz.
Yeah, and I love how they've been like someone, at Hasbro or Mattel or whomever had the right idea to like, oh shoot, we can take a operation and make it SpongeBob Operation.
Oh yeah, different people and stuff like that.
Or like Monopoly. Now I've seen Strongsville Opoly and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like Monopoly's dark too because we really learn about the economy and the importance of money through Monopoly. If you're with a young kid or child, that's a very high-end game. I remember I had memories with my grandma, and we'd play Monopoly every New Year's Eve. And we call it Monopoly Bowl, and whoever won would be the winner of that year. It would be me and my grandma and my brother playing Monopoly. It was really fun. Very good memories. Really creating memories through board games. It's not so much as important just to win the game, but with Monopoly, it's like, well, you're just trying to understand the value of money, property, what you can do, what can you afford, how powerful can you run the board, and then it could turn like really quickly, do not pass go. You got to sell some hotels, you got to like sell some stuff, and like, oh, you owe the bank a bunch of money and stuff like that, or you got some bills. It's a very random but real game to understand the economy, money, and commerce.
Right.
So because it's just very, you do not pass go and you go to jail, or you
do not pass go, do not collect $200.
You have a bill,
Right.
What other games? Jenga. They have giant Jenga now. That's way more dangerous for kids and adults. I remember Guess Who. That was a fun one. You had to guess the identity, whether they were wearing glasses or if they had blonde hair, or they're male or female and stuff. That was pretty good. I remember people thought Twister was a very erotic game back in the day.
The crazy thing about Twister, I found this interesting. What helped the sales of Twister, what helped it blow up, was when it first appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Really?
Yeah, he played it with some actress back in like the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
And because like the guy who invented it was talking about it, and he said after Johnny Carson played a game of Twister, he said that the sales for the game blew up.
Really?
And he said that helped it. He said ultimately become one of the highest selling games of all time. And he said, I am forever thankful for Johnny Carson.
Right. I mean, Twister's pretty good. I remember playing Twister and you just smelled everybody's socks.
Yeah.
You remember that?
The funny thing too about Johnny Carson was, because it was before the internet, and people genuinely loved Johnny Carson because he was on so long. He was on from like the early 60s, I want to say, to like the early 90s.
Yeah.
And he was very trusted. He was like a Walter Cronkite type of person.
Mm-hmm.
He was in most living rooms at night. I guess families would sit down and laugh because, I mean, I've gone back to watch some of these episodes where you see some really cool stars. You see like a Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin. He's genuinely funny. Like I might not understand all the references from like the 60s and 70s and stuff.
Yeah, he's a comedy legend.
But he's really funny.
Yeah, a lot of comics try to get in. It's kind of like how they...
That's how they got their start, like Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld, yeah. A lot of comics got their start, but that was like the entry to, like, if Carson approved you, you were like big deal.
Yeah, they said that like if you could get on Carson, that was the first step, and then if Carson invited you over to sit on the couch afterwards, you made it. And
Candyland, I like Candyland. It's a very simple game. That's pretty cool. Made you hungry for candy though. And I also remember Elephant? That wasn't a board game, but like you had to catch the...
I remember that a little bit, like you put on the trunk and stuff.
Yeah, the trunk would have like these paper-ish light butterflies came out of the elephant trunk. It would be like a tower, and they'd like shoot out these moths or these butterflies, and you had to catch the butterflies. What was another one? The one where the shapes, remember the shapes you had to like put in, and like it would be timey on there, like and like take all the shapes out of the board. You had to fit all the shapes in, and then it went, and then it'd be, I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
It was on a timer.
It would like shake.
It would shake if it was like 60-second timer. You had to get all the shapes into into their holes, and if you didn't get them all in, if you got them all in, you won. But if you didn't, you go, after time's up, and it'd be like you have to start all over again. Another awesome board game. Hungry Hippos is another one.
Oh, dude, I love that one. And they even, when I was a kid, I'm sure they still have them, but they even made travel sizes. So if you travel, you could play in the car.
Yeah.
Of like Hungry Hippos.
People did like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It was pretty fun. And
oh yeah, they have a couple Batman Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Brought that back,
from the animated
just
series.
For kids to play again. Board games are people play probably a lot of board games now that they're stuck inside or they're quarantining and whatnot. Might as well. A little retro. Going back to our first toys. Some of this first. I didn't like games like Life or anything. Like, why would I want to play a game called Life?
Yeah.
Some games were pretty.
The ultimate game with Canadians in mind. Sorry.
Yeah. One of my favorites was Mousetrap.
I never really
played that.
You never played that?
No. Oh, you build this whole contraption, and then you play the game, and the mice would go around the board, and you have these little mice figurines, and you play the game, and then the whole contraption would be like not an obstacle course, but it would be like the ball would fall into the pit, and then it would zigzag, and then like it hit this pole, and it would fall, that the cage would fall on the mouse, causing it to Mousetrap. I think if you caught the mouse, you won. I think if you ran the trap and actually caught a mouse, you won. You had the old man that go in the swimming pool because it was like a seesaw thing, so he'd seesaw in it. So that was pretty cool. So moving on to video games. Talk about our favorite video games. Wrapping up our last topic. We're reminiscing about some of our favorite video games. So what was your first video game system?
Nintendo 64, first video game was still one of my favorites, Diddy Kong Racing.
Really? My first one that I owned, I mean, I played I got a video game system late, and a lot of kids had PS1 and PS2. My first one was PS2, and first video game I got well, it depends, because I was a PC guy.
Really?
Before PlayStation 2.
Oregon Trail, baby.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, that would probably be well, honestly, the first thing I'd play.
Or like when we
would be like
at Central School, we used to get time to play A Bug's Life. That was fun.
Bugdom. That's what it.
Oh, yeah.
Down the Mac. Well, here's what the first video game. I was a PC guy, so you have the green like SanDisk computers, and it would be either Pong or the brick game, like where you hit the paddle and the brick, the ball and the brick, and that were the first video games. Then, as computers started to get like later on in the 90s more, technologically savvy, Oregon Trail, and you'd make your party, and then it'd be like, dun dun Kyle got bit by a rattlesnake, or dun dun Sandra has dysentery, found bad water, or something like that, and people would pass away, and not everyone would live, and you have like maybe 2 or 3 people at the end that actually made it to the end, and you'd actually hunt, buffalo and deer and squirrel and rabbits and stuff. That was fun. You remember Oregon Trail, right? You played that?
To the end.
I love that game. I still play that game today. So I played that on PC. Bugdome, you mentioned, where you fought the ants, the wasp. I remember that level when you're riding on the dragonfly and you had to like get the wasp, and also you're like in the pond. I remember that level with the fish, and you're hopping across the lily pads and you roll into a ball and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. What other video games did you play?
Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball 1998. I love that game. No one can beat me.
On what system?
Nintendo 64. And then I love Madden NFL 07 for the GameCube.
Ooh, you had a GameCube. I never had a GameCube.
I love Jet Force Gemini for the N64. What's that new one? I can't think of the name. The new NBA game for I can't think of the name. It's the new NBA Live. I think it is for Nintendo Switch. That's it. And then playing the NCAA games on your system, that's fun too.
Yeah, the sports games.
Mostly sports games are the most fun.
The old Maddens were good. I don't like the new Maddens because I don't like the controls. They made it so complicated. And like the older college football games. But they don't make college football video games anymore.
I know some of the college football games have skyrocketed in price. Or I have NCAA football 09 for the PSP. Was pretty cool.
It kind of sucks they don't make college football games anymore. I mean, they did, but now they don't. I get the PC, so I'm still on the PC, right? I remember playing like Disney games, and I don't know if you had a Sega, but there were like Disney games on Sega too.
I was watching some reviews, and there were some weird things between Sega and the Super Nintendo. Like, for example, Aladdin. Aladdin on Sega was really fun. They gave you a sword to start the game. Aladdin on Super Nintendo, not as much fun, did not give you a sword.
Right.
Same with The Adventures of Batman and Robin. They said The Adventures of Batman and Robin on Super Nintendo is one of the greatest Batman games of all time.
Really?
Whereas they said on Sega, they completely changed it, and they said it's one of the worst Batman games of all time.
I wasn't much of a Sega guy. I mean, it looked cool, but I don't know. There were a lot of cartoon games. Like, I remember like when Sega was around, you had the Aladdin game, you had the Lion King game. What else did you have? The Toy Story game. I remember those when the Disney movies were hitting.
Yes. I never really, I don't know, maybe it was just because I was a kid, but the Toy Story one, I don't know, I sucked at that game for the Nintendo 64.
But since I had a PC, like, I would play Emperor's New Groove, a fun game. Really awesome. Like you had to like figure stuff out with your mind, but also it was an active game where you had to like press jump, and all that stuff. Like I played Tarzan on PC. That was another good game. Like that was a really hard game when I was a kid to play.
Like all the Lego cities and stuff. Those were fun.
Well, Tarzan from Disney.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like computer games. Lego City was fun.
Yeah, Lego City was one, and they had Lego Movie Maker. My brother plays Age of Empires occasionally on PC. Build your own society. Build your own fort, build your own town, defend it, fight the computer who has other forces, and grow crops, hurt animals, and stuff like that. But one of my favorite games was Mac Breakout on Mac, where you just went through all the levels. And you go through level and level and level, and there was really no end to it, not to my knowledge, because we never beat it all the way through. But I don't think it was just like one level became harder, like you had like sometimes the paddle would be on all four sides of the screen, and you had to like bounce the ball and try to get like all the bricks. One of my favorite games.
Do you remember that game? What that game was called in high school? Where you would like move that thing at the bottom and you would bounce the ball up and hit the thing that people just kept like downloading against the school's wishes to the to like that one shared drive, and then they would have the tank game. I forget what it was, but people downloaded it from a website.
The tank game, I'm not sure.
It was like that neon game where people would go back and forth in the computer lab.
Well, I remember it did have like a bar, and then it bounced the ball, and then it hit like bricks.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Mac Brickout.
Oh.
That's what that is. And then like you sometimes get like two balls, and you have to like operate two balls, and sometimes you get like an extra life or an extra health or something like that, or your paddle would shrink in some cases if you got a bad pill, and then if you got a good pill, it would like expand. If your paddle got bigger, it was bad because you couldn't miss like the bad pills as easily. But after I got through with PC, my first system was a PlayStation 2. My first game was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. A bad game compared to today's standards, crappy graphics and stuff like that. My brother's first game was Medal of Honor, a World War II game, which was pretty good. I mean, like they're fun. Like if they were remastered, yeah, they'd still be cool. Yeah, the graphics are obviously old for those games, but they're still fun games. The Harry Potter game was okay. All the Harry Potter games were like meh, but like Medal of Honor was a really good game. Call of Duty, as we went on, really fun game. Jak and Daxter 2. The Jak and Daxter trilogy was really great video game, gaming wise. I really enjoyed the Spider-Man games from the movies with Tobey Maguire. Played some of the first one, but the second one was really great. The third one was okay, but it was kind of short. Later they came out with like Lego Star Wars and the Lego games. I really enjoyed those. Did you have any other game systems?
PlayStation Portable, Nintendo 64, GameCube. I want to get the new PS5.
PS5. Crazy how big that thing is. I mean, like, I'm not, when it comes to like stuff like the PS5, it's more like along the lines of, I usually wait until they make a slimmer version and more games come out for it, so I could find more that I want out of the system. So I kind of like I'm a wait and see guy. I mean, if you're someone that hasn't updated their system in a long, long time, like you probably will obviously want to get one. But like me, I have a PS4. I waited a little while,
Right.
and it lasted me like over 5 years without a new gaming system. But yeah, I'm a PlayStation guy. You're not an Xbox guy, are you?
No, I've never really been an Xbox guy. Plus, you told me all the problems your brother had with his Xbox. That ultimately it was just better just to switch to Sony.
Yeah, I mean Xbox is, it's just not for me because it's like the controllers are huge. You had to buy a hard drive with it. It would be more susceptible to breaking, in my opinion, as opposed to our PS2 back when my brother did get an Xbox. A lot of people just got an Xbox just for Halo. The Halo craze was crazy.
Right.
Everybody wanted Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, not Halo, whatever. Special packs, like people would get the Halo helmet pack and whatnot like that, or special edition Halo pack with the helmet. They just recently closed the GameStop over here in my neighborhood. The gaming landscape is changing where people aren't buying physical games. With the PS5, you get the digital version or you get the physical version of the game. Everyone's going to be getting the digital version because you could just download the games off the system.
Right.
There's no point in getting a physical game. Why risk scratching the disc, or losing the disc, So it makes more sense that way. I just hope like the memory stuff gets better because my PS4 doesn't seem like it retains that much memory. But like other great games from the PS2 were Medal of Honor when you played in Japan, History Channel Civil War when you're like loading a musket and you're playing either a Southerner or a Northerner in the Civil War and Civil War battles. That was a really good game. Lord of the Rings. All Lord of the Rings games were great. Fantastic. They need to like remaster those and have people play them again.
You said you loved the Spider-Man 2 game and the latest Spider-Man game for PlayStation.
Yes, I like the Spider-Man 2 game off the movie was really great because it was long. You played like against a lot of the villains, Scorpion, Rhino, Mysterio, all the villains that weren't in the movie. Like I don't think you played Kraven the Hunter, but you play like Vulture. I like the old cartoon Hobbit game from PS2. Lord of the Rings games were really great. From a film standpoint, how they like made the playability and the levels in the Lord of the Rings game compared to that of the movie was really great. You played as Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli. One had an axe, one had a bow, one had a sword, one had magic, and you played as like very different. The characters were diverse. You'd play as a hobbit in some of the levels, and that was pretty fun. Who could also forget Grand Theft Auto?
Yes.
Where everyone's just committing crimes they would never do in real life. People would say like, "Oh, that's a bad effect on people." It's like, yeah, but it's in a game,
right? And
it's not in real life.
I'm sure I've heard stories of cops playing Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I mean, like everyone's always envisioned of doing things illegal, and that game allows you to do that. Especially, it was one of those first walkabout world kind of like that. What do they call it? Free world play, I guess you would call it, where you could kind of like do whatever you want, fly a plane and drive a car, hijack a car, and whatnot, shoot up people. It's crazy, like what Grand Theft Auto is, but it's not as popular. And I think a lot of the problem with the industry right now is more like they release the same game every year. Here's another Medal of Honor. Here's another Grand Theft Auto. I remember Rock Band was pretty popular back in the day for a time. Everybody loved a rock band to pretend to be their favorite rock star. I love video games, and I think it's funny because kids today are just weird with them. They'd rather watch a kid play a video game than actually play the video game. People back in, people would judge us, well, you're playing violent video games. Yeah, but video games allow you to think and play and work out puzzles and challenges and stuff like that. Now kids are just watching other kids play video games on YouTube, whether it be Fortnite or any puzzle game or whatnot. It's kind of like now kids are getting more passive about video games. Oh, watch a kid play a video game. It's like, well, why would you watch a YouTube channel of someone else playing a video game
when you could do it yourself too?
I mean, it's weird. Times are changing, and I'm like, I feel like an old man saying, well, why would you watch somebody play a video game? It's like stuff like that. Closing out our final thoughts on video games here. Do you have any, you want the PS5? Do you have any releases you're excited for?
Nothing I can think of in my mind. Probably just a lot of sports games.
Yeah, I think there was a new Skyrim game that looked kind of cool. It's like a medieval game. I saw Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Oh, that one, yeah. I forgot about that one. Yeah, that one looks pretty gnarly.
It looks pretty cool, but it's like I played the other Spider-Man game, so it's like I'm rebuying a different Spider-Man game.
Right.
And I know less about the character than I do about Peter Parker, so it's kind of weird for me to just rebuy here as another Spider-Man game, even though I just beat another one. I am looking forward to the Avengers video game. Marvel doing awesome things with their video game universe, expanding on that. That concludes episode 15 of Talking Toys. SDCC 2020 reveals, and our topic, board games and video games. Hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for the support last episode. We reached over 100 views. Your support goes a long way, and we thank you, all our fans and viewers. Hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to comment whether you agreed with us.
Share it. Send it to a friend.
Share it to your friends, anyone that will like it. We do good work on our podcast. Sorry it's been a while, but our jobs are pretty demanding. Our day jobs are pretty demanding. It's hard to find a schedule. Everything going on with COVID and whatnot. Make sure to stay safe out there. Take time to look at your collection as opposed to just trying to find the next thing for it. Try to just embrace what you have. Stay safe out there. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. We're on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Brock Lauer.
I'm Kyle Walters.
And this is Talking Toys. And make sure to stay 6 feet apart, but not from your toys.